Close your eyes now, and let your breath slow, like the gentle flow of a stream winding through soft earth. Imagine yourself settling into a cozy nook, wrapped in the quiet embrace of twilight. Tonight, we embark on a serene journey through the dull history of ancient pottery, soothing sleep. It's a tale woven from the whispers of time, where the ordinary becomes a lullaby for the soul. As you listen, feel the weight of the day melt away, replaced by the soft rhythm of words that guide you toward rest. Our story unfolds in a tranquil village nestled at the edge of a vast willow grove, a place known to all who live there as Whispers of the Willow Grove. The willows stand tall and graceful, their long, trailing branches swaying like silken threads in the breeze, brushing against one another with a hush that sounds like secrets being shared. The air here carries the faint, earthy scent of damp soil and blooming wildflowers, lavender and chamomile mingling with the subtle sweetness of honeysuckle. Underfoot, the ground is carpeted in lush moss, cool and spongy, inviting bare feet to sink in and forget the hurry of the world. It's early evening, and the sun dips low, painting the sky in soft hues of lavender and gold, casting a warm glow over the grove. Birds call softly from the branches, their songs fading into the peaceful hush as night approaches. In the heart of this grove, where the willows form a natural circle like old friends gathered close, 3 villagers have come together for their weekly ritual, a quiet sharing of stories and simple crafts. They sit on woven blankets spread over the moss, surrounded by the gentle rustle of leaves that seems to echo the name of this sacred spot, Whispers of the Willow Grove. First, there's Alara, the gentle weaver. She's in her mid-50s, with silver-streaked hair tied back in a loose braid, and eyes that hold the calm wisdom of someone who's spent years threading life's threads into beautiful patterns. Her hands are always moving, softly working a small loom she's brought along, creating scarves from wool dyed with natural hues from the grove's own plants. Alara speaks in a voice as soft as the yarn she weaves, warm and inviting, like a cup of herbal tea on a cool evening. She's the one who grounds their gatherings, reminding everyone that beauty lies in the simple, repetitive motions of daily life. Beside her sits Finn, the curious beekeeper. Younger, perhaps in his 30s, with a mop of sun-kissed hair and a perpetual gentle smile that crinkles the corners of his eyes. Finn tends to the hives scattered throughout the village meadows, harvesting honey with a reverence for the bees' quiet industry. He's endlessly fascinated by the small wonders of nature, how a flower blooms or a bee dances, and his questions come not from restlessness, but from a deep, soothing curiosity that draws others in. His hands bear the faint scent of beeswax and wildflowers, and he often brings small jars of honey to share, their golden glow catching the fading light. Completing the trio is Mira, the reflective traveler. She's wandered back to the village after years on quiet paths, her 40s marked by a thoughtful gaze and a collection of small trinkets from distant lands tucked into her pockets. Myra's skin is tanned from sunlit roads, and her voice carries a melodic lilt, steady and reassuring, like the steady patter of rain on leaves. She doesn't speak much at first, but when she does, her words paint pictures of far-off places, always circling back to the peace found in returning home. Tonight, she's brought a few clay pots she's collected on her journeys, simple, unadorned vessels that spark the evening's gentle conversation. As they settle in, the air grows cooler, a soft mist rising from the nearby stream that borders the grove. The water murmurs over smooth stones, a constant, lulling soundtrack that blends with the whispers of the willows. Elara spreads out a small picnic of fresh bread, cheese, and Finn's honey, the aromas wafting gently, warm yeast, tangy curd, and sweet floral notes. They sip from mugs of chamomile tea, steam curling up like lazy dreams, and the world outside the grove feels distant, unimportant. "Good evening, friends," Elara begins, her voice a soft melody that eases into the air. The willows are whispering tonight, as they always do in whispers of the willow grove. What shall we share under their watch? Finn leans forward slightly, his eyes sparkling with that gentle curiosity. "I've been thinking about the earth lately, how it gives us so much, like the clay from the riverbanks here. Mira, those pots you brought, they remind me of the old ways. Tell us about them." Mira nods slowly, her fingers tracing the smooth curve of one pot, its surface cool and slightly rough, like the bark of a young willow. "Ah yes, these are echoes of ancient pottery, from times when hands shaped the world one vessel at a time. Nothing dramatic, just the quiet history of people living in harmony with the land, much like we do here." And so, as the light fades and the grove envelopes them in its serene hush, their conversation drifts into the dull, soothing history of ancient pottery, a tale not of grand adventures, but of patient hands and enduring earth, perfect for unwinding the mind and inviting sleep. As the trio settles deeper into their blankets, the grove seems to draw closer, the willow branches forming a natural canopy overhead, filtering the emerging stars like a soft veil. The air is alive with subtle sounds, the distant hoot of an owl, the occasional splash from the stream, and the ever-present rustle of leaves that gives whispers of the willow grove its name. Elara's loom clicks softly in rhythm with their words, a comforting underscore like a heartbeat. Mira places one of the pots in the center of their circle, its earthy brown tones blending with the moss beneath. It's a simple thing, wide-mouthed and sturdy, with faint ridges where fingers once pressed the clay. "This one," she says, her voice steady and warm, "comes from a valley not unlike our own, where ancient folk first discovered the magic in mud. Not real magic, mind you, just the quiet wonder of turning soft earth into something lasting." Finn reaches out, his touch light as he feels the texture. The pot is cool from the evening air, with a faint gritty feel that speaks of sand mixed in for strength. How did they begin? Was it by accident, like when I first found a wild hive? Mira smiles faintly, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of a lantern they've lit, a small flame dancing in a glass jar, casting warm shadows that play across their faces. "Likely so, Finn. Imagine, long ago, perhaps 20,000 years back, in places where rivers met the sea. People gathered by watersides, much like our stream here, feeling the squish of wet clay underfoot. It was sticky, malleable, like dough before baking. One day, someone, maybe a child playing, shaped it into a ball, left it by the fire to dry. And when the flames licked it, it hardened, holding its form." Elara nods, her fingers pausing on the loom as she envisions it. The scent of the lantern's beeswax wick mingles with the grove's natural perfume, creating a cozy, enclosed world. Such a simple start, No rush, no grand plans. Just hands in the earth, connecting with what's always been there. They pass the pot around, each taking a moment to hold it, feeling its weight, solid yet light, a testament to balance. Finn dips a finger into his jar of honey, drizzling a bit into the pot as if to test it. The golden liquid pools slowly, its sweetness filling the air. And then, did they make more? Oh yes, Mira continues, her tone like a gentle stream, flowing without hurry. As communities grew, in quiet settlements by fertile lands, pottery became a daily companion. In ancient Mesopotamia, around 7,000 years ago, they shaped bowls on flat stones, spinning them slowly by hand. No wheels yet, just patience. The clay was dug from riverbanks, kneaded with water until smooth, free of lumps. You'd feel it warm in your palms, yielding like soft wool. Elara picks up the thread, her voice weaving in seamlessly. I can picture it, the sun warming their backs as they worked, the sound of birds overhead, much like our grove. They'd add tempers, bits of straw or sand to prevent cracking, then into pit fires, where embers glowed softly through the night, transforming the fragile into the firm. The group falls into a comfortable silence for a moment, listening to the whispers of the willows. A light breeze stirs, carrying the cool dampness of the stream, brushing against their skin like a soft sigh. Finn stands gently, inviting the others to join him in a short walk along the grove's edge. Let's gather some clay ourselves, he suggests, his enthusiasm tempered by the evening's calm. Not to make anything grand, just to feel that connection. They rise slowly, blankets folded aside, and meander toward the stream. The path is soft underfoot, padded with fallen leaves that crunch faintly, releasing an autumnal scent, earthy and nostalgic. The water gurgles peacefully, its surface rippling with reflections of the moon now rising, a silver orb peeking through the branches. At the bank, Finn kneels, his hands dipping into the shallow edge where clay deposits form. It's cool and slick, sliding through his fingers like silk. Here, he says, passing a handful to Elara. Feel how it gives, yet holds together. Elara molds it gently, her weaver's hands intuitive. Like threading a loom, each fiber, each particle working in harmony. In ancient times, this clay became vessels for grain, water, even oils scented with herbs. In Egypt, along the Nile, they painted them with ochre and charcoal, simple designs of waves and stars, echoing the world around them. Mira joins in, shaping a small coil. The clay's moisture leaves a faint, clean scent on their skin, grounding them. And in Greece, later on, around 3,000 years ago, the potter's wheel appeared, a wooden disc turned by foot or hand, allowing symmetry. But even then, it was slow work. The wheel hummed softly, like bees in a hive, as the clay rose under skilled fingers into amphorae for wine or oil. They'd fire them in kilns built of stone, watching the smoke curl up like dreams into the sky. As they shape small, imperfect forms, nothing more than thumb pots, they share laughs, soft and unhurried. Finn's is round and lopsided, like a beehive. Elara's smooth and even, like her weaves. Myra's tall and narrow, like a traveler's flask. The act is meditative, hands moving in sync with the grove's rhythm. Fireflies begin to appear, tiny lights drifting like floating stars, adding a subtle glow to the scene. Returning to their spot, they place the clay forms by the lantern to dry slowly. The air has cooled further, a blanket of tranquility settling over them. Ilara brews more tea, the steam rising with the scent of dried flowers, soothing their senses. Pottery taught patience, she reflects. In China, millennia ago, they created porcelain so fine it rang like a bell when tapped. But it started with kaolin clay, white and pure, mixed and aged for months. No hurry, just time allowing perfection. Finn nods, savoring a sip. And in the Americas, indigenous peoples coiled pots from red earth, burnishing them with stones until they shone. Used for cooking over open fires, absorbing the smoke's flavor. It's all so connected, the earth, the fire, the people. Mira leans back against a willow trunk, its bark smooth and cool. Yes, and through it all, no wars or dramas in this history, just quiet evolution. From utilitarian to artful, like the Roman terra sigillata, glossy red where stamped with simple motif. Traded along peaceful routes, carrying stories without words. Their conversation meanders like the stream, touching on forgotten techniques. The slip trailing in medieval Europe, where liquid clay decorated surfaces like icing on cake. The raku firing in Japan, pulling pots from heat to cool and air, creating crackled glazes like frost on leaf. Each detail is shared with care, voices blending into a harmonious lullaby. The subtle message emerges organically. In the dullness of history lies hope, for it shows how small, connected acts endure, fostering tranquility in the everyday. Hours slip by unnoticed, the grove's whispers growing softer as midnight nears. The characters' interactions deepen their bond, Ilara's wisdom comforting Finn's curiosity, Myra's reflections inspiring shared silences. They feel like family, their emotions relatable, a quiet joy in togetherness, a gentle nostalgia for simpler times. As the lantern's flame dims to a soft ember, casting long, gentle shadows across whispers of the willow grove, the friends sense the evening drawing to its natural close. The clay forms they've made sit quietly, symbols of their shared peace, imperfect yet beautiful in their simplicity. The air is now rich with night scents, the deep earthiness of cooled soil, the lingering honeyed sweetness, and the fresh whisper of dew settling on leaves. Ilara packs her loom with care, her movements slow and deliberate. "What a soothing journey through time," she murmurs. The history of pottery reminds us that endurance comes from gentle persistence, like the willows swaying through storms. Finn yawns softly, a contented sound blending with the stream's murmur. And in our own way, we've added to it tonight, small hands shaping small wonders. Mira gathers her pots, tucking them away. Yes, and in this grove we've found connection, a tranquil thread linking past to present. May it carry us into restful dreams. They part with warm embraces, the touch soft and reassuring, like the grove's embrace. As they wander homeward, the willows seem to bid them good night, branches rustling in farewell. The village lights twinkle distantly, welcoming beacons in the calm dark. And you, dear listener, as the story fades, feel the grove's peace envelop you. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on the stream, carrying away any lingering cares. Breathe deeply, in and out, surrendering to the soothing rhythm that leads to sleep. To drift into more peaceful tales, subscribe to Sleep Dream Stories for more soothing stories. Good night.